Sarah's hands trembled as she gripped the champagne glass, her white wedding dress feeling like a prison around her body. The whispers grew louder. The pitying glances from 300 guests burned into her skin like hot coals. Aaron wasn't coming. Her groom had abandoned her at the altar, and everyone knew it. She downed the champagne in one gulp, ignoring her mother's horrified gasp. The crystal shattered against the marble floor as Sarah walked out of the reception hall, her veil trailing behind her like a ghost. She didn't care about the gasps or the frantic calls of her bridesmaids. She needed air. She needed to disappear. She needed to forget that she'd just become the biggest joke in the city. The hotel bar was dimly lit and blessedly empty except for the bartender and one man sitting in the corner booth. Sarah collapsed onto a bar stool, her dress pooling around her like a white cloud. Whiskey. Double. Keep them coming. The bartender's eyes widened at her wedding dress, but he poured without comment. Sarah welcomed the burn of alcohol down her throat, each shot erasing a little more of the humiliation. How could Aaron do this? They'd been together for 3 years. He'd proposed in front of her entire family. They'd sent out invitations, booked the venue, planned their honeymoon to Bali, and he'd just vanished. No call, no text, nothing. Rough day. The voice was deep, smooth like aged bourbon. Sarah turned to find the man from the corner booth now sitting beside her. He was devastatingly handsome in a way that made her breath catch despite her misery. Dark hair, sharp jawline, eyes so blue they seemed to glow in the bar's low light. His expensive suit probably cost more than her wedding dress. "That's an understatement," Sarah said, her words slightly slurred. "I just got ditched at my own wedding, in front of everyone I know. My entire family, his entire family. My boss was there. My college roommates flew in from 3 different states. And the groom? He couldn't even bother to show up." The stranger's expression darkened with something Sarah couldn't quite identify. Anger? Sympathy? Something else entirely? "Then he's a fool. You don't even know me. I know that any man who'd leave you standing at an altar is either stupid or insane. Probably both." He signaled the bartender. "2 more. On my tab." Sarah studied him through her alcohol-induced haze. There was something magnetic about him, something dangerous. She should probably go back to her room, cry into her pillow like a normal jilted bride. Instead, she found herself leaning closer. "What's your name? Does it matter?" "I suppose not." Sarah laughed, and it sounded broken even to her own ears. "Nothing matters anymore, does it? I spent 2 years planning the perfect wedding. 2 years picking out flowers and centerpieces and trying on dozens of dresses. I starved myself for 6 months to fit into this stupid thing." She gestured at her gown. "And for what? To be humiliated in front of everyone I love." The stranger's hand covered hers on the bar, his touch warm and solid. "He doesn't deserve your tears." "I'm not crying." But she was. Hot tears streamed down her face, ruining her carefully applied makeup. "Goo, I'm pathetic." Crying to a stranger in a bar on what was supposed to be my wedding night. "You're not pathetic. You're hurt. There's a difference." His thumb traced circles on her palm, sending shivers up her arm. "And for what it's worth, that dress is stunning on you." Sarah met his eyes and saw genuine desire there, not pity. It was intoxicating. This beautiful stranger wanted her on the night her fiancé had rejected her. The irony wasn't lost on her. "Come upstairs with me." He didn't hesitate. "Are you sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything in my life." It was a lie, but Sarah was done with truth. Truth had gotten her humiliated and abandoned. Maybe recklessness would feel better. "I don't want to think about Aaron or that disaster of a wedding or anything else. I just want to forget. Can you help me forget?" The stranger stood, offering his hand. "I can try." The elevator ride to the 10th floor was charged with tension. Sarah's heart pounded as his hand found the small of her back, as his breath ghosted across her neck. She fumbled with her room key, and he took it from her trembling fingers, opening the door with steady hands. The bridal suite mocked her with its rose petals and champagne on ice. the heart-shaped arrangement on the bed that was supposed to be for her and Aaron. I can't believe I paid extra for this romantic setup, Sarah laughed bitterly. What a waste. Not a waste. The stranger's hands found her waist, turning her to face him. Not if you're here. He kissed her then, and Sarah melted into it. This was nothing like Aaron's careful, controlled kisses. This was fire and need and desperation. His hands tangled in her hair as hers clutched his shoulders. She wanted to lose herself in this moment, in this stranger who looked at her like she was the only woman in the world. Wait, she breathed against his lips. I don't even know your name. Damian. His voice was rough with desire. My name is Damian. Damian, she repeated, testing the name on her tongue.
I'm Sarah.
Sarah. He said it like a prayer, like a promise. Beautiful Sarah in her beautiful dress. Dance with me. What? You deserve at least one dance on your wedding night, don't you think? He pulled out his phone, and soft music filled the room. Something slow and sensual. Damian swept her into his arms, and they swayed together in the candlelit suite. Sarah rested her head against his chest, hearing his heartbeat, feeling alive for the first time all day. This is crazy, she whispered. The best things usually are. His lips brushed her temple. You're incredible, Sarah. Anyone who can't see that is blind. Sarah pulled back to look at him. You don't know me. You don't know anything about me. I know you're strong enough to walk away from a situation that would have destroyed most people. I know you're brave enough to take what you want instead of hiding and crying. I know you deserve so much better than whoever left you standing at that altar. His eyes burned into hers. And I know that I've never wanted anyone the way I want you right now. The words undid something in Sarah. She kissed him fiercely, pouring all her pain and anger and need into that kiss. His hands found the zipper of her dress, and she didn't stop him. She wanted this, wanted him, wanted to prove to herself that she was still desirable, still wanted, still worthy of passion. The wedding dress pooled at her feet like a discarded dream. Damian's suit jacket followed, then his shirt. They fell onto the bed together, rose petals scattering beneath them. Sarah lost herself in sensation, in the feel of his skin against hers, in whispered words and gasped breaths. For a few hours, she forgot about Aaron and the wedding and the humiliation. For a few hours, she was just a woman with a man who made her feel beautiful. Afterward, they lay tangled together in the ruined bridal suite. Damian's fingers traced lazy patterns on her shoulder. Stay, he murmured, already half asleep. Don't leave. But when dawn light crept through the curtains, Sarah carefully extracted herself from his arms. She dressed quickly in jeans and a t-shirt from her honeymoon suitcase, leaving the wedding dress crumpled on the floor where it belonged. Damian was still sleeping, his face peaceful in the early morning light. He was beautiful, and last night had been extraordinary, but it couldn't be anything more than what it was. A moment of rebellion, a one-night stand to help her forget. Sarah scribbled a quick note on hotel stationery. Thank you for last night. You helped more than you know. Take care. She left it on the nightstand and slipped out of the room, closing the door softly behind her. Her car was still in the hotel parking lot, decorated with just married signs and tin cans that now felt like cruel jokes. Sarah ripped them off furiously, tears streaming down her face again. This wasn't how any of this was supposed to go. She was supposed to be waking up as Mrs. Aaron Mitchell, beginning her honeymoon, planning her future. Instead, she was fleeing a hotel at dawn after sleeping with a stranger whose last name she didn't even know. The drive home felt endless. Sarah's apartment was exactly as she'd left it 2 days ago, but everything felt different. The wedding photos she'd displayed proudly now mocked her. The calendar with "Wedding Day" circled in red ink taunted her. She systematically went through every room, gathering every trace of Aaron and shoving it into garbage bags. His toothbrush, his favorite coffee mug, the sweatshirt he'd left on her couch, the photo of them at the beach. All of it went into the trash. Her phone buzzed incessantly with messages. Her mother, her bridesmaids, her sister. Everyone wanted to know if she was okay, what had happened, where Aaron had gone. Sarah ignored them all. She wasn't ready to face the questions, the pity, the inevitable gossip. Instead, she climbed into bed and slept for 14 hours straight. When she finally emerged, it was to find her best friend Maya camped out on her couch. "You didn't answer any of my calls. I used my emergency key. Don't be mad." "I'm too tired to be mad." Sarah collapsed beside her. "Is it all over social media?" Maya's silence was answer enough. "Sarah, I'm so sorry. Aaron's a complete asshole. His family is claiming some kind of emergency, but nobody believes it. He just vanished. Apparently, he cleaned out your joint bank account too." The words hit like physical blows. "He what?"
I'm sorry.
"Your mom discovered it this morning. He withdrew everything 2 days before the wedding." Maya grabbed Sarah's hand. "But we're going to get through this. You're going to press charges. You're going to sue him. You're going to make him pay for what he did." Sarah laughed hollowly. "With what money?" "He took everything, Maya. Everything we'd saved for the down payment on a house. Everything we'd put aside for emergencies. God, I'm such an idiot. How did I not see this coming?" "You're not an idiot. You're a victim. Aaron is a con artist and a coward." Maya pulled her into a fierce hug. "But you're going to survive this. You're the strongest person I know." The next 2 weeks passed in a blur of lawyers and police reports and humiliating conversations. Aaron had apparently been planning his disappearance for months. He drained their accounts, maxed out credit cards in Sarah's name, and vanished without a trace. His family claimed to be just as shocked, but Sarah suspected they'd known something. The way Aaron's mother had looked at her at the rehearsal dinner, that mixture of pity and something else. They'd known and they'd said nothing. Sarah threw herself into work, taking on extra shifts at the marketing firm where she worked. Anything to avoid thinking about the disaster her life had become. Her co-workers tried to be supportive, but she could see the gossip in their eyes, hear the whispers in the break room. Poor Sarah. Did you hear what her fiancé did? Can you imagine being left at the altar like that? She was leaving work late one evening, exhausted and ready to collapse into bed, when she nearly collided with someone in the parking garage. "I'm sorry. I wasn't watching where I was." The words died in her throat. It was him, Damian, the stranger from the hotel. What was he doing here? "Sarah." He said her name like he'd been searching for it. "I've been looking everywhere for you. How did you find me?" Her heart hammered against her ribs. This couldn't be happening. That night was supposed to stay in the past. A secret mistake she'd never have to face again. "It wasn't easy. You didn't leave a phone number. Just that note." Something flickered in his eyes. Hurt? Anger? "Why did you run?" "Because it was a one-night stand, Damian. That's all it was supposed to be." Sarah tried to move past him, but he stepped in front of her, blocking her path to her car. "Was it? Because it didn't feel like just a one-night stand to me." His intensity was overwhelming. "I haven't been able to stop thinking about you, about that night, about the way you looked at me." "Stop." Sarah's voice cracked. "Please just stop. That night was a mistake. I was drunk and hurt and not thinking clearly. I shouldn't have slept with you. I shouldn't have dragged you into my mess. You didn't drag me anywhere. I went willingly." Damian moved closer, and Sarah's back hit her car. "And for the record, I wasn't drunk. I knew exactly what I was doing, and I want to do it again."
No.
But even as Sarah said it, her body betrayed her. Her pulse quickened. Her breath shortened. She remembered his hands on her skin, his mouth on hers, the bouteille he'd made her forget everything. "We can't. I can't. My life is already complicated enough without adding whatever this is." "Then let me uncomplicate it." Damian pulled out a business card. "Damian Steele, CEO of Steele Industries. I'm not just some random stranger, Sarah. I'm successful, stable, and very interested in getting to know you better. Have dinner with me." Sarah stared at the card, her mind reeling. Steele Industries. That name was familiar. Where had she heard it before? "I can't date anyone right now. I just got out of a relationship." A terrible, humiliating relationship that ended with me being abandoned at my own wedding. I'm not exactly in a good place. I know about Aaron Mitchell. Damian's voice hardened. I know what he did to you, and I can promise you, I'm nothing like him. How do you know Aaron? Suspicion crept into Sarah's voice. The way Damian said Aaron's name, with such venom and familiarity. Wait, do you know each other? Damian was quiet for a long moment. Yes, we know each other. How? But even as Sarah asked, pieces started clicking together. Steel Industries. Aaron had mentioned that company before, always with frustration and anger. His family's company was in competition with them. Steel Industries had been systematically acquiring their major clients, undercutting their prices, stealing their market share. Aaron had ranted about Damian Steele for months, calling him ruthless, cutthroat, his family's biggest enemy. Sarah's blood ran cold. Oh my God, you're Aaron's rival. His family's company is in direct competition with yours. You're the one he blamed for all his business problems. Yes, Damian didn't deny it. But that has nothing to do with us. With what happened between us that night. Nothing to do with us? Sarah's voice rose. You're Aaron's enemy, and you just happened to be at the hotel the night of my wedding? You just happened to be in the bar when I walked in? That's a hell of a coincidence. Don't you think? It wasn't a coincidence. Damian's jaw tightened. I was at your wedding, Sarah, as a guest. My company has business relationships with some of the families who were invited. I saw what happened. I saw Aaron fail to show up. I saw you walk out devastated. And yes, I followed you to the bar. I wanted to make sure you were okay. Sarah felt sick. So what was that night? Some kind of revenge scheme? Sleep with Aaron's abandoned bride to stick it to him? Did you even care about me at all? Or was I just a pawn in whatever game you're playing with him? That's not what happened. Damian reached for her, but Sarah jerked away. Sarah, please listen to me. Yes, I have history with Aaron and his family. Yes, our companies are rivals. But that night had nothing to do with business or revenge. I saw a beautiful woman in pain, and I wanted to help. What happened between us was real. I don't believe you. Sarah's hands shook as she unlocked her car. Stay away from me, Damian. Whatever game you're playing, I want no part of it. I've already been used and humiliated by one man. I won't let it happen again. She drove away before he could respond, tears blurring her vision. How could she have been so stupid? Sleeping with Aaron's enemy on her wedding night. It was like something out of a bad romance novel. And now Damian was tracking her down, claiming he had feelings for her. It was too convenient, too perfect. He had to be using her somehow. Maybe to get information about Aaron's family business. Maybe just for the satisfaction of claiming Aaron's ex-fiancé as a conquest. Whatever his reasons, Sarah wanted nothing to do with it. But Damian didn't give up. The next day, a massive bouquet of white roses arrived at her office with a note. These reminded me of you. Strong, beautiful, and resilient. Please give me a chance to explain. Sarah threw them in the trash, ignoring her coworkers' curious stares. The day after that, he sent chocolates from her favorite bakery. How did he even know her favorite bakery? The gesture felt invasive, stalkerish. Sarah donated the chocolates to the office break room and sent Damian a text. Stop sending things to my workplace. I meant what I said. Leave me alone. His response came immediately. I can't do that. Have dinner with me. One dinner. If you still want me to leave you alone after that, I will. I promise.
No.
And stop contacting me or I'll file a restraining order. She blocked his number, blocked his email, blocked him on every social media platform she could think of. For 3 days, there was blissful silence. Sarah started to relax, started to believe he'd finally gotten the message. She should have known better. Sarah was grocery shopping after work when she turned a corner and nearly crashed her cart into Damian. He was standing in the produce section, examining avocados like he hadn't been stalking her for weeks. Are you following me now? This is harassment. This is a public grocery store. I'm shopping. Damian held up his basket as proof. Though I'll admit the timing is fortunate. We need to talk, Sarah. We have nothing to talk about. Sarah tried to push past him, but he blocked her path with his cart. Move, or I'm calling security. Aaron is my half-brother. The words stopped Sarah cold. What? Aaron Mitchell is my half-brother. Same father, different mothers. Our father had an affair 35 years ago with my mother. I'm the illegitimate son, the secret shame the Mitchell family tried to bury. That's why there's bad blood between us. That's why our companies are rivals. Not because of business, but because of family. Damian's voice was low, intense. And yes, I was at your wedding because I wanted to see Aaron fail. I wanted to watch him pretend to be the perfect son, the perfect heir, while I knew the truth about what kind of man he really is. But what happened between us that night had nothing to do with revenge or Aaron or any of that family drama. It was about you and me. Sarah felt like she'd been punched. You're lying. Aaron never mentioned having a half-brother. Of course he didn't. The Mitchell family has spent decades pretending I don't exist. My father pays my mother hush money to keep quiet about the affair. He gave me his last name to avoid a scandal, but he's never acknowledged me publicly. As far as the world knows, Aaron is the only Steel heir. The bitterness in Damian's voice was palpable. I built Steel Industries from nothing just to prove I didn't need their acceptance or their money. And yes, I've taken great pleasure in crushing their business deals and stealing their clients. But you, Sarah, you were never part of that. I don't believe you. But Sarah's voice lacked conviction. It made too much sense. The way Aaron had talked about Damian with such personal hatred, beyond normal business rivalry. The way his family had been so secretive about their past. Even if you're telling the truth, it doesn't change anything. You still lied to me. You knew who I was that night, and you didn't say anything. I didn't lie. I just didn't volunteer information you didn't ask for. Damian moved closer, his voice softening. Sarah, I know you have no reason to trust me. I know my timing is terrible and my family connection to Aaron makes everything worse. But I can't stop thinking about you. I haven't been able to focus on work or sleep properly or function like a normal person since that night. You did something to me. I didn't do anything to you. We had sex. One time. It wasn't magical or special or destiny. It was just two hurt people using each other to feel better. Even as Sarah said the words, she knew they weren't entirely true. That night had been special, at least for her. But she couldn't admit that to him, not when everything was so complicated. Is that really what you believe? Damian's hand reached up to cup her cheek, and Sarah hated herself for leaning into his touch. Because I remember the way you looked at me, the way you said my name. That wasn't just meaningless sex, and we both know it. Sarah pulled away. It doesn't matter what it was. You're Aaron's half-brother. Dating you would be the ultimate betrayal, the ultimate revenge on my part. Everyone would think I was using you to get back at him. They'd call me a gold digger, a social climber, someone who traded up from the son who abandoned her to the richer, more successful son. I can't do that. I won't give them that satisfaction. So you're going to let other people's opinions dictate your happiness? Damian's frustration was evident. You're going to walk away from something that could be amazing because you're worried about gossip? I'm walking away because I don't know if I can trust you. Sarah's voice echoed through the produce section, drawing stares from other shoppers. She lowered her voice. You've been lying by omission since the moment we met. You tracked me down at my workplace. You're sending me gifts and showing up wherever I am. This isn't romantic, Damian. It's obsessive. And I've already been burned by one man who seemed perfect on the surface. I'm not making that mistake again. Damian was quiet for a long moment. You're right. I've been pushy and aggressive, and I'm sorry. That's not who I usually am. You just make me act irrationally. He pulled out another business card. This has my personal cell number on it. The one I don't give to anyone. If you change your mind, if you decide you want to give this a chance, call me. I'll wait, however long it takes. He walked away then, leaving Sarah standing alone in the grocery store, her mind spinning. She should feel relieved. He was finally backing off, finally giving her space. So why did she feel disappointed? Why did part of her want to chase after him and take him up on his offer? Maya was unsympathetic when Sarah called her that night. Let me get this straight. A gorgeous, wealthy CEO who rocked your world in bed is desperately pursuing you, and you're running away? Are you insane? He's Aaron's half-brother, Maya. How can I date Aaron's half-brother? Aaron abandoned you at your wedding and stole $50,000 from you. Screw Aaron. If Damian makes you happy, who cares what anyone else thinks? Maya's voice softened. Sarah, you've spent the last month being miserable and alone because you're worried about what people will say. But they're already talking. They're already gossiping. You might as well do something that makes you happy. What if he's using me? What if this is all some elaborate revenge scheme against Aaron? Then you'll find out and dump him. But what if it's not? What if this is real? Are you really going to throw away a chance at happiness because you're scared? Maya sighed. Look, I know Aaron hurt you. I know you're terrified of being vulnerable again. But you can't let one asshole ruin your life forever. Damian showed up at your wedding, saw you at your worst, and still pursued you. That has to count for something. Sarah stared at Damian's business card on her coffee table. Maya had a point. She'd been so focused on protecting herself from getting hurt again that she hadn't considered what she might be missing. And the truth was, she hadn't stopped thinking about Damian either. About the way he'd held her that night, the way he'd made her feel beautiful and wanted and special. About the intensity in his eyes when he looked at her, like she was the only person in the world who mattered. I'm terrified, Sarah admitted. That's how you know it's worth it. Maya's voice was gentle. Call him, Sarah. Take a chance. What's the worst that could happen? He could break my heart. Aaron already did that. At least this time, you'll have had some great sex and fancy dinners first. Despite everything, Sarah laughed. Trust Maya to put things in perspective. She picked up her phone, staring at Damian's number. Her finger hovered over the call button. What was she doing? This was crazy, reckless, potentially disastrous. She pressed call. Damian answered on the first ring. Sarah, one dinner, she said before she could lose her nerve. You get one dinner to convince me this isn't some elaborate game. But we do this my way. No expensive restaurants or grand gestures. Somewhere quiet where we can actually talk. And you answer every question I ask honestly. No more secrets, no more omissions. Deal? Deal. She could hear the smile in his voice. When? Tomorrow night. 7 o'clock. There's a small Italian place on 5th Street called Rose's. Meet me there. I'll be there. Damian paused. Thank you for giving me a chance, Sarah. I won't waste it. Sarah ended the call and immediately questioned every decision that had led to this moment. But it was too late now. She'd agreed to dinner. She was going to sit across from Aaron's half-brother and pretend this was a normal date. God, her life had become a soap opera. The next day crawled by. Sarah changed outfits 5 times before settling on a simple blue dress that made her feel confident without trying too hard. She arrived at Rose's 10 minutes early, her nerves jangling. What was she supposed to say to him? How did you make small talk with someone you'd already slept with before you'd properly met? Damian was already there, sitting at a corner booth in jeans and a casual button-down shirt. He'd taken her request for low-key seriously. He stood when he saw her, his eyes lighting up in a way that made Sarah's heart skip. You came. I wasn't sure you would. I almost didn't. Sarah slid into the booth across from him. I changed my mind about 6 times on the drive over. But you're here now. That's what matters. Damian poured her a glass of wine from the bottle he'd already ordered. I'm glad you chose this place. It's perfect. Quiet. Intimate. No cameras or gossip bloggers. About that. Sarah took a fortifying sip of wine. I need to know the truth about everything. Starting with that night. Did you know I was Aaron's fiancé before you approached me at the bar? Yes. Damian's honesty was refreshing. I recognized you from the wedding photos in the venue. And yes, I knew Aaron had left you at the altar. I'd been watching the whole disaster unfold. Why were you really there? At my wedding? Because I'm a petty bastard who wanted to see my half-brother's big day. Damian's smile was bitter. Aaron spent our entire lives pretending I didn't exist. He got the family name, the trust fund, the acceptance. I got child support payments and a father who refused to acknowledge me in public. So yes, when I heard he was getting married to some woman from a good family, I wanted to watch. I wanted to see if he'd actually go through with it or if he'd choke like he does with everything else important. That's horrible. I never claimed to be a good person, Sarah. I'm ambitious, ruthless, and I hold grudges. I've spent my entire adult life trying to destroy the Mitchell family business because they made my mother's life hell. Damian met her eyes. But when I saw you walk into that bar, devastated and alone, something shifted. You weren't part of my revenge plan. You were just a woman who'd been hurt, and I wanted to help. By sleeping with me, by being there for you. The sex was your idea, remember? Damian reached across the table, his fingers brushing hers. And I'm not going to lie and say I regretted it. That night was incredible, but it was also more than just physical. I felt connected to you in a way I've never felt with anyone else. Sarah wanted to pull her hand away, maintain some distance and objectivity. But she didn't. Tell me about Aaron. Why did he really leave me at the altar? You want the truth? Damian's voice hardened. Aaron's been embezzling from his family's company for the last 2 years. Gambling debts, bad investments. He was desperate and stupid and he got caught. The wedding was supposed to be his redemption, marrying into your respectable family, playing the devoted husband. But the night before, his father found out about the embezzlement. They had a massive fight. Aaron took the money from your joint account and ran rather than face the consequences. Sarah felt sick. How do you know all this? Because I have spies in the Mitchell company. I've been monitoring their business practices for years, waiting for the right moment to strike. Aaron's theft gave me the perfect opportunity to launch a hostile takeover. Damian squeezed her hand. But I didn't use the information yet, because exposing Aaron would hurt you too. People would question why you didn't know about his activities. They'd accuse you of being complicit. So I've been sitting on it, waiting to see what you wanted to do. What I want to do? Sarah pulled her hand back. Why would you give me that choice? Because I care about you. Because your happiness matters more to me than my revenge against Aaron. Damian leaned forward, his intensity overwhelming. Tell me what you want, Sarah. Do you want me to destroy him? Expose him? Make him pay for what he did to you? I can do all of that. One phone call and I can ruin his life the way he ruined yours. Just say the word. The offer was tempting. God, it was tempting. Sarah had spent weeks fantasizing about Aaron getting his comeuppance, about him facing consequences for his actions. But hearing Damian offer it so casually made her realize something.
No.
I don't want revenge. I just want to move on. Aaron took enough from me. I won't let him take my peace too. Something shifted in Damian's expression. Respect, admiration. You're a better person than I am. I'm just tired of being angry. Sarah picked up her menu, needing a moment to collect herself. Can we talk about something else? Something that doesn't involve Aaron or family drama or revenge schemes. They did. Over pasta and wine, they talked about everything. Damian told her about building his company from nothing, about the satisfaction of proving everyone wrong about the illegitimate son. Sarah told him about her work in marketing, about her dreams of starting her own agency someday. They talked about books and movies and travel, discovering they both loved hiking and hated crowded beaches. The conversation flowed easily, naturally, like they'd known each other for years instead of weeks. Why me? Sarah asked as they shared tiramisu for dessert. You could have anyone. Gorgeous women probably throw themselves at you constantly. Why pursue someone with as much baggage as I have? Because you're real. Damian's answer was immediate. Every woman I've dated before wanted Damian Steele, CEO. They wanted the money and the status and the lifestyle. But you saw me at my most basic level first. No company, no reputation, just a stranger in a bar. And you chose me anyway, baggage and all. That stranger in the bar seemed a lot less complicated than the CEO in front of me now. I'm still the same person, Sarah, just with more context. Damian paid the check despite Sarah's protests. Walk with me? It's a beautiful night. They strolled through the nearby park, the city lights twinkling above them. Damian's hand found hers, and this time Sarah didn't pull away. It felt right, walking beside him, talking and laughing like a normal couple. For the first time since the wedding disaster, Sarah felt hopeful. Maybe she could have this. Maybe she deserved this. "I have a confession," Damian said as they reached Sarah's car. "I've imagined this moment about 1,000 times. What I'd say to convince you to give us a chance. But now that we're here, I'm drawing a blank." "You don't need a speech." Sarah turned to face him. "I had a good time tonight. Better than I expected, if I'm honest. You were right about us having a connection. I felt it that night and I feel it now. But I'm still scared, Damian. Scared of getting hurt again. Scared of what people will say. Scared that this is too good to be true. I can't promise I won't hurt you. Nobody can promise that." Damian cupped her face in his hands. "But I can promise I'll try my best not to. I can promise to be honest with you, even when the truth is ugly. And I can promise that what I feel for you is real. I'm falling for you, Sarah. Hard and fast and completely out of my control." Sarah's breath caught. It was too soon for declarations like that. They barely knew each other. But looking into his eyes, she believed him. "I'm not ready to say that back. Not yet. But I want to keep seeing you. Slowly. No pressure, no grand gestures. Just two people getting to know each other. I can do slow." Damian's smile was soft, tender. "Though I'm warning you now, I'm not good at it. Try anyway." Sarah stood on her toes and kissed him, soft and sweet. It was different from their desperate kisses that first night. This was a promise, a beginning. When she pulled back, Damian looked dazed. "Good night, Damian." "Good night, Sarah." He watched her get in her car, waiting until she'd driven away before heading to his own vehicle. Sarah drove home with a smile on her face, her heart lighter than it had been in weeks. Maybe Maya was right. Maybe this was worth the risk. Damian's Steele was complicated and intense and came with more baggage than an airport carousel. But he was also honest and passionate and made her feel things she'd thought were dead after Aaron. Maybe she deserved a second chance at happiness. Maybe they both did. Her phone buzzed with a text from Damian. "Thank you for tonight. Same time next week." Sarah typed back a simple yes and felt her smile grow wider. She was doing this. She was dating Aaron's half-brother, the man who'd made love to her on her ruined wedding night, the CEO who tracked her down and refused to let her go. It was messy and complicated and potentially disastrous. It was also the most alive she'd felt in months. The next morning, Sarah woke to find a single white rose on her doorstep with a note. "I know I promised no grand gestures, but I saw this and thought of you. Have a beautiful day."
D.
Sarah brought the rose inside, placed it in a vase on her kitchen counter, and let herself hope. Over the next month, they fell into a rhythm. Dinner dates at quiet restaurants, weekend hikes in the mountains, movie nights at Sarah's apartment where they argued good-naturedly about whether action movies or rom-coms were superior. Damian was true to his word about taking things slowly, never pushing for more than Sarah was ready to give. But the chemistry between them was undeniable. Every touch sent sparks through her body. Every kiss left her wanting more. Sarah's friends were skeptical at first, especially when they learned about Damian's connection to Aaron. But seeing them together changed minds. Maya became Damian's biggest supporter after he helped her land a major client for her consulting business. Sarah's mother was harder to convince, worried about what people would say. But even she softened when she saw how happy Sarah was. Then Aaron came back. 6 weeks after abandoning Sarah at the altar, he showed up at her apartment unannounced. Sarah opened the door to find him looking haggard and desperate. "Sarah, thank God. We need to talk." "We have nothing to talk about." Sarah moved to close the door, but Aaron stuck his foot in the way. "Please, just hear me out. I made a terrible mistake. I was scared and stupid and I ran. But I'm back now, and I want to make things right." Aaron's eyes were pleading. "I love you, Sarah. I never stopped loving you. Let me explain everything."
No.
Sarah's voice was cold. "You had 6 weeks to explain. 6 weeks to apologize or call or give me some closure. Instead, you stole my money and vanished. You don't get to show up now and expect forgiveness. I know I screwed up, but we can fix this. We can still get married, still have the life we planned. Erin reached for her hand, but Sarah jerked away. Don't you miss me? Miss us? Honestly? No, I don't miss you at all. Sarah felt a surge of satisfaction at the shock on Erin's face. I've moved on, Erin. I'm happy. Happier than I ever was with you, if I'm being honest. Moved on. Erin's expression darkened. It's been 6 weeks. How could you possibly have moved on? Unless... His eyes widened. Oh my God. You're seeing someone, aren't you? Who is he? Do I know him? Before Sarah could answer, Damian's voice came from behind her. Hello, brother. He'd come over for their planned movie night, his timing impeccably terrible. He wrapped an arm around Sarah's waist, a clear claim. Sarah, is everything all right? Erin's face went through a spectrum of emotions. Shock, disbelief, rage. You're sleeping with my brother? My brother? Are you kidding me right now?
Ex-fiancé, Sarah corrected.
You lost the right to have opinions about my love life when you abandoned me at our wedding. Now get off my property before I call the police. This is about revenge, isn't it? Erin's voice rose. You're using Damian to get back at me. God, Sarah. I thought you were better than that. This has nothing to do with you. Damian's voice was dangerous. Shocking as it may be, Sarah chose to be with me because of who I am, not because of who you are. Now leave. You've done enough damage. Erin looked between them, his face twisted with fury and jealousy. You two deserve each other. The gold digger and the bastard. He spat the words like venom before storming off. Sarah closed the door, her hands shaking. That was horrible, but necessary. Damian pulled her into his arms. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Better than fine, actually. Sarah looked up at him. I thought seeing Erin again would hurt. I thought I'd feel something, but I didn't. All I felt was relief that I dodged a bullet and gratitude that I found you. I'm the one who's grateful. Damian kissed her forehead. You took a chance on the illegitimate son, the ruthless CEO, the man everyone warned you about. Thank you for that. Thank you for not giving up on me when I tried to push you away. Sarah kissed him properly, pouring all her feelings into it. I love you, Damian. I should have said it sooner, but I was scared. I'm not scared anymore. I love you too. Damian's smile was radiant. I have since that first night, if I'm honest. You stole my heart when you walked into that bar in your wedding dress, determined to forget and move on. I knew then I wanted to be part of whatever came next for you. They made love that night, slow and sweet and nothing like their desperate first encounter. This was about connection, about building something real together. Afterward, lying tangled together on Sarah's couch, Sarah felt at peace. Her life hadn't turned out the way she'd planned, but maybe it had turned out exactly how it was supposed to. If you enjoyed Sarah and Damian's story, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Urban Folks TV channel for more dramatic love stories. Leave a comment below telling us what you thought about their journey from a wedding night disaster to true love. Should we do a follow-up story about what happens next for them? Let us know. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.